We are back.
Welcome to Next Time on Let's Play.
Welcome to
After
the show.
After another long day of fighting, the sundown Meatpunks finally take a rest. With Hopeville so close, everyone's eager to keep moving, but Cass stops the group before Brightfall. Sam, time to stop. Alright, if you say so.
Tip,
What?
do not fight multiple people at once.
Well, I don't have enough strategy. You sure? Though, if we keep going... No. This next fight's gonna be hard, this close to town. Gotta be rested for it. Well, I'm not complaining. As a heads up, I'm about to give you a choice between two conversations. They're both important to the tone of the story and push the plot forward, but one of them is decidedly heavier than the other. Just letting you know ahead of time.
I appreciate that.
Oh.
I want to lean into the wrong one, but if people don't feel like they have the emotional bandwidth for that right now.
I'm fine with Brad and Cass have a conversation that goes wrong.
You have enough Wi-Fi?
I'm mad at you.
Is the one that goes wrong the heavier one necessarily?
I
I
believe
would
that is the
hope.
implication.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that
There's
that's what was meant by that.
No point in it in like a trigger warning if your trigger warning is like intentionally like confusing. So.
That was pointed just because there is something that I know that is going on later tonight where
Yeah,
a
one
lot
that
of
goes
people
wrong is
have
heavy.
have opinions about not including trigger warnings. And it's a type of art form where a lot of people don't like the idea of giving trigger warnings before things, or they like to give a general floating trigger warning. And as someone who engages in that art form, but also there's a poetry thing going on tonight. But also as someone who sometimes, in no small part because I have to be emotionally vulnerable to do my poetry, doesn't necessarily want to be surprised by stuff. It's sort of something where if you give just a general floating trigger warning of anything might come up, I tend to just sort of be like, but then what's the point of me putting myself out there? If I think that I might have, I might be on the border of enough emotional bandwidth, then I'm going to play it safe if you're just going to give me general floating trigger warnings. So I think I trust Heather that it's the wrong one, the quote-unquote wrong one is the one that is decidedly heavier.
We're also in good company, and in episode terms, if there are more specific trigger warnings that need putting here, I will put them at the beginning of the YouTube episode.
Heather says she can give you an actual content warning if you want.
Sure.
Sure.
In the meantime, shall I go ahead?
Well, but we want
That would defeat the purpose
people
of
to
waiting
know
for
who
content.
are watching.
I'm thinking in editor brain, in terms of
I mean,
scoping ahead.
It'll take like a second probably. She's watching.
Okay, so the conversation is about suicide.
How are you feeling?
Let's do it.
I'm okay.
Okay.
I might step out, but let's do it.
All right.
I feel like there's enough. I feel like if I run out, then I'll just sort of quietly excuse myself.
Mm-hmm.
Sure thing.
Hey, Cass.
Oh, hey, Brad. Would you like someone else to play Brad's lines?
I'm fine.
Okay. What's up?
Not much, just... We're getting pretty close to Hopeville.
We sure are, buddy.
What are you gonna do once we get there?
Oh, not sure.
How are you not sure? I've been fantasizing about that moment for days.
I just don't know, okay? I've been trying to keep my head down, focus on the moment.
Seriously? You haven't been constantly thinking about finally eating something other than protein bars? First thing I do once we get there is go to the shittiest diner in town and order one of everything. Okay, what about where you're gonna stay? I think I might have a cousin in Hopeville who might let one or two of us crash on her couch.
Maybe. I don't know.
There's also the Meatpunk group. I'm sure they'll have ideas.
Brad, stop.
Why? We gotta figure this stuff out, right?
Just don't. I don't want to...
Have you seriously not thought about what you're gonna do after we get there? You're a leader, why wouldn't you...
Because I didn't want to be alive for this.
What?
That night when we got run out of town, I wasn't supposed to be there. I was going to kill myself. Nobody knew. Not even Liana. The only reason I didn't is because she convinced me to go to the meeting instead.
But why?
God, where to even fucking start? Because I did everything right in life and got fucked over time and time again. Because I hate my body almost as much as it hates me. because I've been living with depression for 35 fucking years and it has never gotten easier. But mostly, I'm just fucking tired.
Cass.
You want to know why I don't feel fear? Because I have nothing to lose. I honestly don't care if I live or die at this point. The only thing that keeps me from throwing myself off that cliff is knowing that I can't abandon y'all.
So what does that mean when we reach Hopeville?
That was another not yet in a long line of not yets. Maybe there'll be something else. Maybe not. All that I know is that I'm tired.
Oh, I want and I've been there. I've been there. A while back I got into a really bad place and I did a lot of really dangerous stuff. And I know my situation isn't yours and all that, but I want to help you in the way I wanted to be helped back then. Seriously, I'm here for you, Cass. We gotta look out for each other, right?
Thanks. For talking with me.
Whatever happens, I promise I won't give up on you.
Fuck it. If you want to help, I won't say no. The rest of the night passes uneventfully. Sam and Liana get into a push-up contest. Brad and Cass talk long into the night. When sleep comes, it comes without dreams. The next morning. Alright, this is the home stretch. If any of y'all want to get in some final fast kills before we make it to town, now's the time to do so. We have not done Cass nor Brad this group. How you doing?
We've done, Sam. Have we done Liana? Yeah,
we did Liana.
Yeah,
We started
we
with-
started with Liana.
Then we did Sam. So either Brad or Cass.
I'm feeling Cass.
Alright.
Okay.
I'll take point today. Let's go.
You're a Cass. Don't want to spend time with your thoughts today. You climb inside the rib cage. Without hesitation, you whisper your name and shove your neck back onto the nerve spike. The pain is electric today as it courses through both your bodies. It hurts. A good distraction. Doesn't last long enough. You know what to do. You roar and charge headlong into the battle ahead. Nothing can stop you. You are all or nothing. The bitter cliffside air makes you cough as you stand.
Let's double check those abilities. Interesting. Cool. Let's do this. Oh.
A wave of the stench of death washes over you. Not the familiar smell of rot flesh, actual death, not the facsimile of it you give yourself up to every day. Dozens of mech corpses line the cliffside ahead. Some pilots lie dead in their cockpits while others are nowhere to be seen, like they were torn from their bodies and hurled away. You gather from the torn clothing that this was a fash ambush gone wrong. It's terrifying. There's no other way to describe the scene in front of you.
What the hell? Oh.
Oh! At the end of the string of corpses, a figure stands in front of you. Her mech is odd, to say the least. Tall, lean, and covered in razor-sharp feathers. One of its arms is barely hanging on by a thread. Though she's obviously hurt, you have no doubt in your mind that she could kill you in an instant if desired.
Who wants to voice their,
Who are you?
we're with the Meatpunks. We've come a long way, and...
What chapter?
What?
What Meatpunks chapter? Where do you come from?
Sundown.
Sundown. I didn't know there was a chapter there.
We're not very good at this whole thing. Look, we've just spent a week lost in the desert. I'm bright burned and tired. Can you just tell me if you're gonna kill me or not?
The woman slowly takes off her mask and leans into a two-way radio fused to her mech.
Nightbreak, do you copy?
I'm going to clarify that was not accurate to the Morse code that was on screen.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
Tell Dayfall we've got company. You, stranger. Welcome to Hopeville.
End of episode 5.
Save and continue.
We finished the episode, but we do have the finale.
Yeah. And we're only about halfway through. Oh. I need to update my game.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna pop the stream back up in...
However long it takes.
I'll give it 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we wanna call it here. How's that read?
I mean,
I'm really down to keep going.
To touch a second on how the game deals with mental health and that sort of climactic scene at the end, I loved the move from the sort of unempathetic, here's all the things that you should be feeling because I am feeling those things, to what do you actually need from me? Because I feel like one of the consequences of living in an overly medicalized culture is we tell ourselves that friends are people that always know what to do when things are going wrong, and that's not always the case. Sometimes they're just sources of presence and listening. There's not a laundry list of here are the emotions that you need to feel to get out of this thing. It's about being there.
And I'm gonna start crying. I've been quietly crying, but I'm gonna probably cry a little more when I say this. Just a heads up in case it gets a little unclear in the audio. I really enjoy watching PhilosophyTube's video essays, and his one about the cosmonaut is a lot. I would definitely recommend, if you have not seen it yet, and you are interested in watching it, do that when you are at your personally, you're like, I will probably not get more stable than this in the near future. Have resources available to you just in case, and that kind of thing.
There are plenty of amazing PhilosophyTube videos that aren't about suicidality or things that might be triggering to some folks. He got a master's in philosophy from a pretty prestigious university and decided to sort of give that away for free once the British government tripled tuition fees. He's doing great work. If you like what we do on Let's Play, you'll love PhilosophyTube.
I was in London when they tripled those fees. I saw the riots. We were on one of the streets and we saw a bunch of people run by, and my parents were like, we're not going out for the next 15 minutes. Take your time in this bookstore, kids, because we're not leaving. We're not leaving this right now. But he ends his video that is called the Cosmonaut video. It's a video about suicide and mental health, and is explicitly a conversation of are you true, and this is also a conversation that's going on, I would argue, in a slightly less respectful to the people who are experiencing it way, in discussions of psychotherapy and psychology, of are people who are suicidal or depressed, quote unquote, out of their minds, or are they realistic? And I am also strongly of the opinion that, a lot of, what gets sort of treated as and diagnosed as, mental illness, or, your brain is just not working right, if we want to just completely remove it from the context of illness, is, something is sort of happening, and the way that your brain deals with it is a very natural way of doing it, and then it does it a little too much. So if you're someone who is suddenly dealing with a lot of your body isn't working the way that it wants, that you want it to, or that you were expecting it to, or suddenly social relationships are getting harder and you're struggling to cope with that, or that kind of thing, you start becoming, and those are from personal experience, you start becoming more conscious of them, and then you start ruminating, and ruminating unfortunately leads to, if you aren't too careful about it, can lead to some pretty dark places. But he explicitly ends his video on suicide and mental health with a moment in which he very tearfully says, to anyone who is flying that mission, as he calls it, like to anyone who is feeling suicidal, I just want to say the one thing that I most wanted to hear when I was in that place, and that is, I understand how you feel. And so that's part of the reason why I pushed really hard for that one, was because, like, I know that, like, for me personally, but also for a lot of people who have experienced feeling that down, and especially, like, Cass is a very concrete, like, I know that I can't do this right now because I need to, like, you guys are relying on me and I can't just leave you, is very much something that I've felt. Like, having a moment in which someone else is like, I have been there, is something that's so important for people to hear. So I really appreciated that.
Absolutely.
We do need to update the game.
This is true. Thank you for joining us. We will probably be back in like 10 to 15 minutes. Ciao.
We'll be right back.
Peace.